Okay, and I'm talking about deadlifts. So if we can get you on the bar, we want to get you on the bar as quick as we can. The big thing working on deadlifts is really loading up the posterior chain. So I'm going to try to give you some cues to get your deadlift a little more hingy, a little more hamstring, a little more glute, and a little less squatty, a little less quads. So here we go. Setup wise, sumo stance looks pretty good for now. Okay, so a couple things when you are on either the kettlebell or the barbell, when you line up, say for instance the kettlebell, put the handle in line with the arch of your foot. You can't even hardly tell there's a kettlebell between my legs right now. Perfect. There you can. Okay, scoot up on it. Okay, that's on the kettlebell. When it's the barbell, right, we can't put it between the legs, but what we want to do is get this weight as close to my center mass as possible. So this will make maybe a little more sense in a minute, but when you set up, have the bar touch your shins. The bar is physically touching my shins. Set up between the two. Number two, we're back to the kettlebell. Good way to practice for sure. So, there it is. It's in the right loading spot. I'm going to come down. I'm going to chop myself, and I'm going to push my hips back as far as I can. Okay? Now, when the arms drop, notice how far my arms are in front of the kettlebell. Perfect. That's what we want. In order to get there, I'm going to engage my lats and pull my arms back. When I do that, I feel, you can see the wrinkles in my shirt, you feel the level of tension increase through your mid-back and through your lats. Awesome. Huge part to being safe and being strong. Okay. So now I've pulled back. I got the kettlebell. Okay. So we have a tendency to be here. And so what that is that slack in the system. And we want to get all the slack out of the system before we ever go. So by this point, what I'm going to do, lats are on, I'm going to lift those hips up until almost the kettlebell rises, and I feel a large amount of tension in my posterior chain. I'm taking the slack out, putting tension in, and so to speak, I'm loading the arrow into the string and get ready to let it go. Hinge, shoulders. Now I got to take the slack out. Boom. Okay, that's on the kettlebell. Now this hip wants to drive that way, okay? And it drives that way from me pushing through the ground. You never stand up in a deadlift, you only push down. Boom, boom. My focus is to go now, so it is thrust through the feet. Boom. I never stand up, I only push down into the ground. On the barbell. Boom. The barbell is touching my shins. Hinge. There again. The barbell is behind my arms. Engage my lats. Bring my arms back. Focus on a fantastic grip. The bar is still resting on my shins because I have slack in the system. I have slack back here that I need to get out. I need to put that slack, make that tension in my hips to load my hips. There we go. Okay, so what I did, came in, got my lats down, got everything ready to go, and then I go ahead and lift the hips, and now, whew, just doing that, feel tension in my hamstrings and my hips. It's the bow and arrow pulled back, ready to roll. This bar wants to go. If you're in this position and you're up here and you don't feel tension or you're not a bit uncomfortable, you're not in the right position. It should be uncomfortable. Okay, boom. Now the bar is off my shins. I can clear my shin. And I got my big belly breath in. Brace, and then I push down. Reset. Boom. Boom. Breath. Push through the ground. Never stand up. Only push through the ground. Okay? So the bar will always start on your shin. Your feedback is when you take the slack up, take the slack out of the hips with your hips up. It gives you space to lift. Now, another big thing with this that I noticed, we look like this, okay? Head up. One thing I'll say is your body goes where your head goes. So when you're here, you have a pretty good opportunity to begin to lift first motion through the back. And from what I see just a little bit in that video, we can get rid of some of that. There's not a ton, I've seen a lot worse, but there's some motion that starts from the back. This should not be the first motion, because the first motion is where the first load goes, right in lumbar spine. Take your head, give yourself a double chin. That's a cue. Okay, number 2, second cue, if that doesn't make sense. Pull your chin into your neck. Bury your chin into your neck. Looks like this. Bar on shin. Gauge lats. Take slack out of hips. Chin pulled in. My eyes are right about out here by this kettlebell. 3-4 feet out. I stay with it. I'm not going to do this. Finish it. Slack. Good. Even at the top, I got a double chin. You can't see at the top, but I got my chin pulled into my neck. That's directly connected to this anterior core. It'll help you stay strong through here. Okay. This, the devil's in the detail, man, but this is where you get ridiculously strong and safe on this hinge. Also, fantastic for working on the strength and mobility of the hamstrings. So we got to load them though. We got to get out of that squat and into the hinge. Play with it, practice it. Doesn't matter if you're practicing with a kettlebell or a barbell, but we want to get you to get the load here on the barbell. So go through this, try it out, and I'd love to coach you up. This is one of my favorite lifts right here.